What an unbelievable turn of events. A cook who, in fact, turns out now to be subject to a criminal charge and having to defend herself. One of the things that Brenda didn't have going for her was that she really didn't understand the Spanish language particularly well. I mean, she had a working knowledge of street Spanish, but really didn't fully appreciate Spanish. So that when they put papers in front of her and asked her various questions, there wasn't an interpreter there. She didn't have the benefit of knowing all the full details and effects of what she was working with at the time. And this has come back to haunt her. And in fact, as we say, and as we see it, this was a violation of her rights and a violation of the Mexican Constitution. After this occurred, and she was incarcerated in prison, where she has remained through now, she is in a single cell along with 11 other people, one a convicted murderer, at least one extortionist who made their living by actually taking people, cutting off fingers and sending them back to the friends and family of that person, and then extorting money in return for that individual. This is the sort of type of person that she's living with. And even to the other extreme, there is a baby in that cell as well. It shows you what we are up against. Because, first of all, in Mexican law, you're presumed guilty. That's right, presumed guilty, and you have to prove your innocence under their system. Secondly, in their system, you find yourself where you have a file opened on you when you begin the process. Once you've been charged, the prosecution puts material in the file, and so does the defense. And at some point, the file closes and goes to a judge. That supposedly is your trial. A most unusual way of carrying out the process of criminal justice. When we look at the situation that Brenda then found herself in, she found herself first in prison, no friends, no money. She was in serious trouble. And as I like to say, she really had 3 strikes against her. She was poor, she was a woman, and she was charged in a Mexican jail. I don't know how things could be much worse. Amnesty International, in reviewing the justice system of Mexico in a 2007 report, said, "The justice system of Mexico is gravely flawed, and I believe it more now than ever before." For me, Brenda finds herself in an almost impossible position. Her mother tried to help, sent money. The lawyer took the money that she had at the time and left the scene. Yes, that's right, just walked away with the money. Didn't do anything of any appreciable nature. Since then, she's had at least 2 other lawyers who, for one reason or another, weren't able to meet her needs. But finally, we have found a lawyer who seems to have some grip on her case and an ability to take it forward. And I think that that's extraordinarily important. But equally so is the idea and concept that we really must follow a 2-pronged approach in going forward with Brenda's case. We not only have to pursue the legal side and try to get justice out of the Mexican system, but we also have to put political pressure on those in power here in Canada and those in power in Mexico. It is absolutely essential that we find ways to make sure that the Prime Minister of Canada will pick up the phone and call Felipe Calderon, the President of Mexico, and ask and make the case that Brenda be released on humanitarian grounds. There is no question that her human rights were violated. There is no question that there is a violation of international law for her to be kept within that prison in the same cell with those who have been convicted when Brenda has not. These are very clear violations of what we would normally consider to be expected human rights. For me, I must say that having to deal with Brenda, and I spoke with her yesterday by phone, she is truly in deep mental difficulties. I don't know how you would handle this, but I do know that even I would have trouble dealing with being there, believing so truly that you are innocent of anything that you're being charged with. And yet, for 11 months, having no visitors in that cell, to the best of our knowledge, the Canadian consular officials didn't seem to take the time to involve themselves except in the last 8 months of the case. And all of a sudden they're available. But where were they before that, for that year and a half? I think these are questions that we really truly have to ask of our government. We expect more. For Brenda has become a symbol to each and every one of us, a symbol of your sister, your mother, your daughter, your grandchild, who could easily have found themselves in this position. This was not someone being a co-conspirator. This was a woman who was trying to make a living as a cook. And yes, be a butterfly. Enjoy life. I want to take this opportunity to thank everyone who has been on our team, because this team has been amazing. About a year ago, we started this cause, which was difficult to start because we didn't know where to begin. This is not the sort of thing that we've done before. But I think just because it isn't something you've done before, that you shy away. It's something that you take, you go forward with, and you do your very best to see what you can accomplish. This is something that comes from the heart. This is not something that you do because it's convenient. This is something you do because you have an emotional attachment to making sure that justice for Canadian citizens simply doesn't melt away in the Mexico sun. I've been touched by this. I hope that you have been touched by this, because this is a call to action. This means that all of us must step up, make sure that we are prepared to do more to help Brenda, for we should not rest until we have Brenda home. Donate today to www.savebrendafund.ca.